Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to all distinguished guests, respected speakers, faculty members, scholars, and participants. As we gather here today, we arrive at the final day of the 3-day international conference on integrating legal frameworks and management strategies, pathways to a greener, sustainable Northeast India. Over the past 2 days, we have engaged in rich discussions, critical reflections, and meaningful exchanges. Today's session marks both a continuation of that dialogue and a culmination of this academic journey. May I now respectfully invite Professor Dr. Dibyendu Chattaraj, convener of the conference and head of the Department of Business Administration, IEM UEM Kolkata, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all distinguished guests, esteemed keynote speakers, respected participants and valued stakeholders. It's both an honor and a privilege for me as one of the conveners to extend a warm welcome you all to the concluding day of this conference titled Integrating Legal Frameworks and Management Strategies, Pathways to a Greener, Sustainable Northeast India. This gathering represents a significant step towards fostering dialogue, collaboration, and innovative thinking at the intersection of law, management, and sustainability. Over the last 2 days of this conference, we were engaged with critical themes such as climate governance, sustainability transitions, biodiversity conservation, technological innovation, and the pursuit of environmental justice. Today also we will be doing so to strengthen the core theme of this conference by our esteemed keynote speakers. Hence, we are deeply honored to have with us our distinguished keynote speakers whose expertise and insights will undoubtedly enrich our discussions. I warmly welcome Dr. Jean-Claude N. Asuquem, Senior Lecturer at the Oliver Schreiner School of Law, University of Witwatersrand, South Africa. Dr. Ishita Chatterjee, Professor and Head of the Department of Applied Psychology at the University of Calcutta, Kolkata, India, and Dr. Soumik Gangopadhyay, Professor in the Department of Business Administration at IEM Kolkata, India. Your presence adds immense value to this conference, and we look forward to your thought-provoking contributions. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to the faculty members, researchers, and participants from NLU Tripura and other universities whose scholarly contributions form the backbone of this conference. I also extend a heartfelt welcome to all participating law students. My dear law students, you represent the future custodians of justice and governance. Your engagement here is crucial in shaping a more equitable and sustainable legal framework. This conference provides a vital platform to exchange ideas, share research, and explore practical strategies that integrate legal management perspectives for sustainable development. I encourage everyone to actively participate, engage in fruitful discussions, and collaborate towards solutions that can make a lasting impact. So let us work together to transform ideas into impact and research into real-world solutions for a sustainable Northeast India. Once again, I welcome and wish you all an enriching, insightful, and productive conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your address. Now I take the privilege to welcome our first keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Jean-Claude N. Ashukim. Dr. Jean-Claude N. Ashukim is a senior lecturer and course coordinator of environmental law and sustainability at the Oliver Schreiner School of Law, University of the Witwatersrand, South Africa. He is a human rights and environmental analyst. He has interests in environmental procedural rights, comparative environmental rights, human rights, climate change, land grabbing, food security, and African development and governance. He has published extensively on these topics. He is the editor of Handbook on Business, Human Rights and the Environment in Africa, Springer 2025, and Handbook on the Human Rights to a Healthy Environment, International, Regional and Comparative Pathways for Policy Intervention in Cameroon, Springer 2025. He is also the co-editor of Human Rights and the Environment in Africa, a research companion, Routledge 2023, and Domestic and Regional Environmental Laws and Policies in Africa, a research companion, Routledge 2023. I warmly welcome you, sir, for delivering your keynote address.
Hello.
Hello, sir. You are audible.
Hello. Yes. Okay. Good morning, Chair, and to everyone there. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to provide a keynote address to this important conference on international legal framework and management strategies, pathways to a greener, sustainable Northeast India at the University of Tripura. It is such a pity that I could not be there in person. My talk today will focus on global environmental rights protection in times of crisis, the right to environment and the nature of environmental rights protection. So it is common knowledge that environmental degradation is a life reality that negatively affects millions of people worldwide. The right to a healthy environment is now firmly entrenched in as a fundamental human right in national constitutions, including that of India. This recognition makes environmental protection not just a policy choice, but a legal obligation, because degraded ecosystems directly compromise our rights to culture, health, food, life, land, water, and dignity, amongst others. India's ecological problems, including air pollution, poor waste management, water pollution, forest preservation and quality, biodiversity loss, climate change, and land or soil degradation, are not different from that of the rest of the world. The nature of the environmental right generally and in India rests on the understanding that it is interconnected with ecosystems, and a gross failure to properly regulate development activities on one aspect of the ecosystems could have considerable unintended consequences for others. For example, the impact of mining activities on natural and aquatic ecosystems. So, the integration and coordination of environmental laws as well as the management strategies among relevant government departments involved in environmental decisions making are crucial. Dear colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this conference is particularly dear to my heart as an environmentalist. I was informed that the event will be attended by, among others, policymakers. And I would like to take this opportunity to talk about something, though common knowledge, but crucial in the environmental regulatory space, the role of decision makers and policy makers in environmental protection. I say this with a firm conviction that the current global ecological crisis is directly attributed to the actions and decisions of decision makers. We can only move towards a greener, more sustainable environment if their decisions and actions are not inconsistent with constitutional and legislative imperative for environmental protection and sustainable development. But quite often, they overlooked environmental needs and favor development aspirations. This is not to say the least that development is not important, but that development should not thrive at the expense of a degraded environment. Importantly, the decisions and actions of decision makers positively or negatively affect the quality of the environment we long for, as exemplified by India's constitutional and statutory framework, and they need to consider this seriously. We as researchers and academics cannot make these decisions. We can only make our voices heard through research, advocacy platforms, and conferences such as these by highlighting these issues or concerns. In this global ecological effort, we cannot continuously move in circles and talk about the lack of implementations of laws when the actions and decisions of decision makers and policy makers need to positively trigger that implementation, including, for example, addressing pollution in Assam, cultural heritage issues in Karizhanga National Park, ecological and cultural issues in the Siang River, mining and deforestation in Meghalaya. Please forgive me if I don't pronounce that correctly. These examples highlight the need for a bottom-up approach to environmental governance rather than reliance on the conventional top-down approach. Dear policymakers, implementation of environmental law and sound protection of the environment starts with you. Please do not take my view personally. It is a cry from a concerned scholar and an environmentalist. I humbly request that you will leave this conference knowing that you have an important role to play in fostering environmental protection for the benefit of present and future generations, consistent with the vision of the Sustainable Development Goals, Article 48A, 51AG, and 21 of the Indian Constitution, the Environmental Protection Act of 1986, the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and the Air Act of 1981, addressing issues relating to pollution control and resource management, crucial for promoting a greener and sustainable environment. Thank you for your kind attention, and I wish you fruitful deliberations.
Thank you, sir, for the deeply insightful and globally enriching address. I now welcome our second keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Ishita Chatterjee. Dr. Ishita Chatterjee is Professor and Head of the Department of Applied Psychology at University of Kolkata, and with sustained academic and research experience since 2008. She has taught at multiple colleges and universities at undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral levels, contributing extensively to curriculum development and academic administration. Her specialization lies in industrial and organizational psychology, with research interests in organizational well-being, occupational stress, and mental health. Indian Knowledge Systems IKS work spirituality, leadership, employee engagement, organizational citizenship behavior, gender and work, and entrepreneurship. She has published over 50 research papers in reputed Scopus indexed and peer-reviewed international journals, as well as with leading academic publishers such as Springer Nature and Taylor and Francis. She has presented research at more than 20 national and international conferences and delivered 25 plus invited lectures across universities and professional forums. She has successfully supervised PhD scholars and continues to mentor doctoral and postgraduate researchers. Her academic career includes UGC and ICSSR funded research projects, edited volumes, conference proceedings, and active engagement in faculty development programs and research training initiatives. I welcome you, ma'am, to deliver your keynote address for the day.
A very good morning to the organizers and the participants. My heartiest congratulations and wishes to the organizers for giving me this platform. I would like to share on eco-anxiety and green HRM and some laws regarding this. So eco-anxiety is an anxiety which is now present among very sensible persons, and this is good. And one good thing is that eco-anxiety is found among Gen Z. So but too much of eco-anxiety again can be harmful for the person and also for the society. So a moderate level of eco-anxiety is very good for the organizations, for the individual, and for the earth itself. So climate crisis has intensified eco-anxiety among employees. Organizations increasingly adopt green human resource management. Employee empowerment is central to translating concern into action. So my review synthesis includes 30 studies from 2020 to 2025. Eco-anxiety involves chronic worry and fear related to climate change, recognized as a rational response to environmental threats, can affect well-being, engagement, and work behavior, has both motivating and distressing effect. Dimensions of eco-anxiety. Eco-anxiety has the following dimensions: cognitive, persistent thoughts about the environmental degradation, affective fear, sadness, guilt, helplessness, behavioral pro-environmental actions, avoidance, and even to the extent of burnout. Intensity determines adaptive versus maladaptive outcomes. Eco-anxiety in the workplace influences engagement, meaning, and motivation at work, heightens sensitivity to organizations and organizational green practices, may reduce voluntary green behavior if excessive, needs supportive organizational responses. Signs you may be experiencing in eco or climate anxiety involves difficulty concentrating on everyday tasks, physical symptoms such as sleep disturbances, changes in behavior, and also persistent worry about the state of the environment. 4-step recycle eco-anxiety into climate action involves step 1, talk about the climate action with friends and family members. Point 2, read about the environmental challenges. Step 3, change behavior at home. And step 4, become an advocate in your community. Now we come to the green human resource management, integration of work environmental goals into HR practices, align workforce behavior with sustainability objectives moves beyond compliance to strategic sustainability, acts as institutional response to environmental concern. Here I have given a model of green HRM, which include the AMO theory, environmental and sustainability. AMO includes effective motivation and opportunity. So core DRM practices include green recruitment and selection, green training and development, green performance management, green rewards and incentives, and green involvement. Strategic outcomes of GHRM include improved environmental performances, enhanced employee engagement and commitment, strengthened corporate environmental reputation, and long-term sustainable competitive advantage. Next comes employee empowerment, psychological and structural ability to act autonomously, crucial mechanisms of linking green, হ্যালো দেখতে পাচ্ছেন আপনারা ওই এটা দেখা যাচ্ছে না
Slides are not changing.
They-
We are still, we can only see the first slide. Now it's
Okay.
changing. We are seeing the employee empowerment slide now.
here
If you can put it in the slideshow mode, then it will be easier to flip through the slides.
okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Can you just flip through one or two slides if to check if it's changing?
Okay, so should I start from the beginning?
No, ma'am. You please continue where you left.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, employee empowerment includes psychological and structural ability to act autonomously, crucial mechanisms linking GHRM to outcomes, enables employees to take environmental initiative, transform concern into constructive behavior. So, this involves employee in company decisions, offers employee greater flexibility, embraces mistakes, recognize and celebrate achievements, co-create individual growth plans, help managers become better leaders. So dimensions of green empowerment includes meaning, environmental work feels valuable, competence, confidence in green skills, self-determination, autonomy in action, impact, believes that action make a difference. So dimensions of green HRM includes green training and development, green performance appraisal, green rewards and competitions, green employee relations, green selections, green induction, green employee discipline, green motivation, green ability, and green opportunity. Environmental specific psychological empowerment includes contextualized from empowerment for environmental tasks, strengthens green creativity and innovation, more effective than general empowerment. Key mediators in green HRM model includes green motivation enhancing practices, green employee involvement practices, and green competences building practices. Green motivations include work engagement, and green competence involves job satisfaction, and green employee involvement also includes environmental performances. So you should not only have it in your mind, it should be executed. This is one of the most important tasks for action in eco-anxiety. The theoretical foundations of HRM includes AMO theory, that is ability, motivation, and opportunity. Social exchange theory, conservation of resource theory, stimulus organism response model, and social cognitive theory. Now the PRISMA flow diagram, identification records identified through databases. There were around 300 studies. Screening titles and abstracts screened were 180. Eligibility full texts articles assessed were 60, and included study in the review were 30. PRISMA-based review included databases of Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar, Emerald, etc. Keywords given were eco-anxiety, green HRM, empowerment, screening based on HR, and employee focus. Final sample was 30 high-quality studies. So question formulation, conducting systematic literature review, and screening literature, selecting criteria, data extraction, and data findings. Eco-anxiety thematic clusters include the following diagram as you see. Eco-anxiety at work, green HRM as organized response, empowerment as psychological bridge, empowerment and integrated sustainability. So here we find that the identifications included 37, and then again articles screened, article in ISI screened, articles processed for eligibility, eligible articles, and articles included in the review process. So integrated framework, eco-anxiety helps in green HRM initiatives. If you don't have any eco-anxiety, you usually do not take green initiatives. Green HRM includes employee empowerment. Empowerment includes behavior, green behavior, and well-being. And eco-anxiety can act as a catalyst or a barrier. The estimated model includes human resource management, which includes green job analysis and description, GZAD, green human resource planning, GHRP, green performance evaluation, GPE, green training and development, GTD, environmental initiative management, EIM. So environment knowledge and awareness, interaction of environment knowledge and awareness and GEB, green employee behavior. And this at last results in environmental performance, which includes sustainability, environmental standards, ESG, and rationalization of energy consumption. Now we come to the next slide, that is the key findings. Eco-anxiety is a real workplace phenomenon. Green HRM effectiveness depends on empowerment. Empowerment partially mediates green HRM outcomes, and supportive context channels anxiety into action. So eco-anxiety leads to various types of initiatives. Practical implications: the assess eco-anxiety among employees, implement integrated GHRM system, prioritize genuine employee empowerment, balance environmental goals with well-being. So it includes spend meaningful time in nature, connect with others, be prepared, focus on what you can control, be mindful of your media intakes, practice self-care, foster hope and resiliency, seek professional help. Now, research gaps: limited workplace-specific eco-anxiety measures have been found. Few studies directly linking eco-anxiety and GHRM, and the findings were mainly after 2023. Lack of longitudinal and intervention studies, need for cross-sectional research. So there are 7 research gaps: evidence gap, knowledge gap, practical knowledge gap, methodology gap, empirical gap, theoretical gap, and population gap. Future research directions: develop workplace eco-anxiety skills, test integrated eco-anxiety to green HRM models, explore curvilinear and moderating effects, examine empowerment-based intervention. So we find that more tool development is necessary and more longitudinal studies necessary, because most of the studies we see are cross-sectional in nature. Now lastly, we come to the statutory framework supporting green HR and eco-anxiety response. Environmental Protection Act 1986 provides the central framework for environmental protections. Organizations are legally obliged to comply with the environmental standards. Companies Act 2013 mandates corporate social responsibilities. Companies must invest in environmental sustainability initiatives aligning with GHRM policies and employee-driven green actions. Factories Act 1948 ensures health, safety and welfare of the workers, and occupational safety, health and working conditions. Code 2020 expands employer responsibility towards safe and sustainable working conditions, including environmental aspects and employee well-being. National Green Tribunal Act 2010 provides speedy environmental justice, encourages corporate accountability, and reinforces the importance of environmental compliance in organizational practices. Next is Biodiversity Act 2002 promotes conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. So in conclusion, we can say that eco-anxiety is no longer just an individual concern, but a significant workplace phenomenon that influences employee behavior, motivation, and well-being. When unmanaged, it can lead to stress and disengagement. However, when properly channeled, it can act as a powerful catalyst for positive environmental action. Green human resource management emerges as a strategic organization response, aligning employee values with sustainable goals. However, its effectiveness largely depends on genuine employee empowerment, which enables individuals to take meaningful environmental initiatives. Thus, organizations must move beyond symbolic green practices and focus on creating supportive, empowering, and legally compliant environments. By doing so, they can successfully balance environmental sustainability with employee well-being, ensuring long-term organizational and societal benefits. Thank you. Thank you for your patience listening, and sorry for the technical glitch that occurred in the first half of the presentation.
Not a problem, ma'am. Thank you very much for your engaging address. Now I welcome our final keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Shomik Gangopadhyay. Dr. Shomik Gangopadhyay is a professor in the Department of BBA at IEM Kolkata, University of Engineering and Management, Kolkata, India, with over 25 years of combined experience in academia and industry, including more than 8 years in the pharmaceutical sector. He holds a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, 2 MBAs in marketing and hospital and health system management from BITS Pilani, and a PhD from West Bengal State University. He has conducted extensive executive and defense training programs and received several accolades, including the IEM UEM Excellence in Research Award 2022-23 and gold medals from Zydus Cadila Dr. Gangopadhyay has presented award-winning research at national and international conferences and published widely in UGC-approved ABDC and Scopus Index journals, with work spanning healthcare management, non-communicable diseases, digital transformation, AI, sustainability, and pandemic studies. An active reviewer for leading international journals, he has reviewed over 35 Scopus/WOS articles. He has authored and edited multiple influential books with Routledge, Spring Nature, Wiley Scrivener, CRC Press, Emerald and Bentham Books, including collaborations in volumes edited by Philip Kotler. With several funded research projects completed and ongoing, Dr. Gangopadhyay remains a significant contributor to interdisciplinary management and healthcare research. I welcome you, sir, for your keynote address. There seems to have been a little technical glitch, so I request the participants to wait for a minute or two. Dr. Shomik Gangopadhyay, sir. Are you online?
Yes, I am online, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So can we start with your keynote address?
Okay.
Thank you.
May I start?
Yes, please, sir.
I can't hear, ma'am.
Yes, sir, please. You can start.
Okay. My presentation is visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Good morning to all the attendees, all the dignitaries, and all the paper presenters. And first of all, I want to congratulate NLU Tripura and also IEM UEM group for conducting such an integrated conference which is targeted towards the sustainability. A very important word, sustainability. The moment we use this word sustainability, which is a very popular term, now it is being used across the world, across all the commercial free onwards. These numbers are becoming horrible and becoming a concern almost for each and every government to take actions. Here some of the countries statistically are being presented their data, and which once again are unfolding the mystery. India absolutely becoming the #1 populated country is also showing the same trend. If no actions are being taken, so what will happen? There will be an absolute apathy in accepting vaccines, and we all know that Canada has lost measles elimination status in 2025. Once people are forgetting or avoiding medicines or vaccines, we all know that how infections will proliferate. In case of health, risk cannot be taken. Options of treatment or preventions cannot be avoided, because bacteria and virus do not need visa or passport. They can travel or cross borders. They can travel countries and cross borders. There is a third risk. AI is one of the most advanced
Recording in
not
progress.
into one factor. It is multidimensional, because healthcare is being nurtured in a demand-driven market. It is no more being driven into a supply-centric market, which has given birth of a mushroom growth of clinical establishments, and technological advancement has also advances or backed the door of expectation of people. Also, with the advancement of internet and access to internet, the information access is very easy. Even the health insurance companies are becoming dynamic. So they are offering far more better policies, which is affordable, accessible, and at the same time also are being designed almost for all the people. So there is an exorbitant health consciousness, and which is absolutely are driving these behaviors. This unregulated information system ecosystem is the first reason what we can consider here as a first reason of these erosions. Second is a vulnerable science journalism, which is also are being concentrating further. There are integrity breaches in science, and also the socio-demographic and political factors are also being considered. Let's look into one by one. The #1, unregulated information ecosystem, and what are the problem of this. The first thing, there is a rampant misinformation and disinformation on social media. Social media is being flooded, and during pandemic we all have seen that what has happened because of this. People were confused, and companies were continuously trying them to convince. There were absolutely massive load of informations which are half-truth are being passed, and WHO has considered this and termed this as infodemic. Science exploitation tactics by influencers and corporations for their commercial benefit has also further added value to this erosion. And there are also different echo chambers. They are reinforcing bias and polarizations. The beauty of negative information is that it spread fast. Negative information's comments because it signals a threat. So people get attracted towards this. According to the University of Cologne and Chicago Booth and Ruhr University, there is a problem of identifying negative informations by the common people specifically, as because the two negative informations are never homogeneous and they always are special, distinct, and unexpectedly it relieves an alarm. So people get attracted, minds get attracted. There also a high variation of negativity has been observed into the negative informations. So the novelty value is very high here. Let's take an example here. There are two messages are being posted here. Number one, the talented musician staged the free concert and the talented musicians cancelled the free concert. I'm sure the participants or the attendees must have been attracted towards the word cancelled. So something is being offered in free and the free concert is being cancelled. Out of these, there are one word the mind frames very easily. So which absolutely are contributing towards the negativity of the informations. Negative informations are also having the greater tendency to affect the perceived value of the event or informations. It quickly creates impressions and also it absolutely adds a more value towards this. Let's look into the other informations as we were talking about for the commercial benefit. Many of this information are being presented here are half-truth, but they are being happily being presented and are being reinforced. Because every time the statistics changes, every day the new threat attached to the existing one, it creates an obsolescence to the older informations. Surprisingly, it comes with a reference. So people becomes attracted towards it and then they start taking action towards this. The mushroom growth of the clinical establishment is a proof of that. Let's look into the vulnerable science journalism. As I mentioned there, without any filtrations, the media, the social media platforms, the print medias are exploring informations. Obviously, it comes with a reference. Absolutely, it comes with a reference and with sometimes even with some endorsements, which turns the informations more valid, which is absolutely it is not. There are also integrity breaches in science. Industry absolutely manipulates, and we must have seen that how this Generation Z are becoming crazy about 0 calorie or about many other food items like chia seed, like muesli, and so on. Protein shake is adding value towards this. There are some drugs that like Rimonabant, which became popular in the last, that is, I think 5 years back. It became very much popular. What was the reason? Unfortunately, the reason was it was absolutely works against the trans fats that deposits into the body. The scientific fraud and predatory journals, I think we all academicians are aware about this. How do they mimic the original format? And it absolutely disturbs the entire scenario. The third thing is now becoming the sensation of this world. The AI generated content, without proper checking, it is becoming popular every day. It is being shared to each other every day. It is being shared for a common purpose. There are certain pattern analysis does with this. So a professor from the University of Birmingham, Professor Muriel Quigley, she is now undergoing a research on this, and it is being termed as everyday cyborgs 2.0. 1.0 was talking about the information paradigm and the information rights, but now she is working on this everyday cyborgs where the ownership of the information becomes a question. Let's take an example. Suppose a person dies today. So what will happen to his or her social media informations? Because information, if it is being considered as, or data, it is being considered as one of the property, then who owns this? Is it the person who has died or the social media? Can they claim the ownership after the death of the person? So the deceased person do have the right, or if she or he has not given the right, then who holds the ownership of this data? Fortunately, there are also socio-demographic and political factors that can really influence the entire process. But unfortunately, a political will is needed. In a densely populated country like India, we all know that what happens, and how do trust are in questions. How do the hostages suffers about that? Since I was talking about all these problems, so a very important question is that when in this era, the AI has now started presenting at every sphere of life, and there is a pressing priority in its inclusion in commercial healthcare system, even in government healthcare system. So what are the need of the hour? Integrity, accountability, transparency, and inclusivity. These are the 4 pillars of this confidence to be created. When we talk about this integrity, or we talk about this, I think it is, according to me, that is, trust only can enhance the persuasiveness, because the perceived mindset can attenuate or even negate these intended effects. Because consumer adherence is guaranteed when the system is congruent with the user belief or preferences, such as interface design that is ethically standardized, the availability of the local language options are being provided, and the degree of service personalization are being given as a mandatory options. I think that is the only one which can really reinforce integrity. This is one of the efforts are been given recently by Supreme Court, the highest legislative authority of India, and they have started working on the privacy of the common people. At the same time, also accountability is the need of the hour. The moment we talk about the responsibility, accountability comes with it. Because without accountability, the responsibility cannot be given or cannot be provided. The leadership has a very important role. So not only one nation, there are national authorities must take care about this, and they must join their hands to provide the services. The strategic enablers absolutely is communication, is IEC, to communicate in such a way which is mutually accepted. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask me. These are the few references that has been collected and help me to present this.
I don't think there are any further questions, sir. Thank you, sir, for your insightful and interdisciplinary address.
Thank you.
Now moving forward, we have come to almost the closing of our keynote address session. I now welcome upon stage the co-convener of this conference, Dr. Bondita Sengupta, for her vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pragati. A very good morning to all. It is my proud privilege as the convener of the 3-day international conference on integrating legal frameworks and management strategies, pathways to a greener, sustainable Northeast India, to propose a vote of thanks on this memorable occasion on behalf of National Law University Tripura. As we come to the close of this wonderful event, I would like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed to its success. First and foremost, I extend my sincere thanks to keynote speakers of today, Dr. Jane Clore, Senior Lecturer, University of Witwatersrand, South Africa; Dr. Ishita Chatterjee, Professor and Head, Department of Applied Psychology, University of Calcutta; Dr. Shoumi Gangopadhyay, Professor, Department of Business Administration, IEM, Kolkata. Your inspiring words and valuable insights have truly enlightened us and added great significance to the gathering. We are deeply honored by your participation. I would like to express our gratitude to all resource persons and dignitaries who took time out of their busy schedules to be with us for last 2 days and today on online and offline mode. My heartfelt thanks to the collaborative partner IEM UM Kolkata, the entire NLU Tripura team including teaching faculties, administrative executive staffs, technical team, student volunteer, research scholars behind this event. Their hard work, dedication and meticulously planning have made everything run smoothly. From the conceptualization to execution, their efforts deserve the highest appreciation. At the end most, I would like to express sincere gratitude to our Vice Chancellor Sir and Registrar Sir for their continuous support and guidance in making this event as successful. Your contributions have made this conference engaging, informative and truly worthwhile. Thank you all once again. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, we conclude the keynote session for this morning. Now, we will break for a tea break, and following that, technical sessions 5A and 5B will be running online, and I request the participants, moderators and the reporters to be present on time and join the given links. Thank you very much.